was not so sure. She looked ahead, dismayed by the remaining distance to the carriage. The women stood outside the bookshop, their heads bowed in conversation. "Keep talking," she willed them, but they moved forward, where a waiting footman handed each one up a 3-stepped stool into the carriage. She glanced at the nearest window. He still followed. She tamped down on her welling panic. What would she do if he caught her? Him, of all people. It was crucial that an honest gentleman's next essay appear before the upcoming parliamentary session. One of her trusted correspondents had written that a bill widely supported by the Conservative MPs was financed by a group of powerful criminals. But he'd refused to send the name through the mail. If she missed their first meeting, her correspondent might never agree to another. Before her, the door to the carriage remained open, the footman still waiting. Olivia's heart rose. Someone else was in the shop. Instinctively she quickened her pace, then slowed, but it was too late. He had increased his pace as well. With each long step he narrowed the distance between them, but he had not yet crossed to her side of the street. The carriage would hide her escape. Only 4 more shops and she'd be there. The footman opened the shop door again, and a young woman with a brightly coloured feather in her hat moved slowly toward the open carriage door. At the carriage the younger woman stopped before the steps, then held out her hand. The postilion placed it on his shoulder, and the woman raised her right foot slowly to the first step, bringing her left up to meet it, then repeated the deliberate action. Another time Olivia would have wondered at the young woman's slow movements. But not today. No, all that mattered was reaching the shop, and she was almost there. The footman opened the shop door once more, stepping back to let yet another woman out of the shop. Olivia's eyes met his, pleading, and he held the door another fraction of a second, long enough for her to leap into the bookstore. As the door shut behind her, she heard the coachman call out to the postilion to lash the steps on tight. For another moment or two the carriage would hide her escape. To the right of the entrance, 2 kind-faced women stood at a counter, one an aristocrat, the other a shopkeeper. "I need—" She saw the carriage begin to pull away from the sidewalk and just past it, the man crossing the street to the shop. She turned back to the women who waited expectantly. "A man is following me. Can you help?" Neither woman looked startled. The shopkeeper spoke quickly. "Follow me." The aristocrat turned confident grey eyes to Olivia. "I'll give you time. Go." Olivia obeyed without thinking. This whole row of buildings backs up to a marsh. The bookseller spoke softly as they hurried toward the back of the shop. No back exit. Olivia felt her stomach tighten. He would find her. If she had time, she could hide the instructions in a book. But which one? The roof, however, connects this row of buildings almost to the toll booth beyond the marsh. The roof? Olivia felt her throat tighten. He'd found her on a roof once before. She pushed the memory away. He'd been angry enough then. This time he had more cause. "If you are afraid of the roof, lock the attic door behind you and hide until I return." "I'm not afraid." "Good. On the roof, you'll find a path of sorts. Stay near the back of the buildings. That way no one will see you from the street. At the end, climb down a series of lower roofs and balconies until you reach the ground. The descent is protected from view by the curve of the buildings. From there you can slip into the street unnoticed. It isn't too hard." The woman smiled, then added, "If you have a bit of a tomboy in you." The shop doorbell rang. Olivia looked toward the salesroom, the woman following her eyes. "I have more than a bit. Where do I start?" The bookseller motioned to Olivia's right. A piece of heavy brocade, pinned with dozens of broadsides, covered the wall between 2 bookcases. The bookseller pushed against it. Not a wall, a door. The woman stepped into a small office, and Olivia, with a last quick glance over her shoulder, closed the office door behind them. "He's here. I hear his voice. Go up 3 flights, my rooms, then the attic, then the roof." The bookseller opened a smaller door leading to a stairway, then held out a key. "Lock the door behind you. Leave the key on the hook beside the door. How will you retrieve it? I have a second key. You must hurry." The bookseller paused, searching Olivia's face. "If you need help again, you will find it. The African's daughter turns no one away. Now you must go." Olivia clasped the woman's hand.